Hello, welcome to Loughborough University. We're at the Netball Centre here in the East Midlands as Loughborough Lightning and Worcester Wolves get their season underway in the BWB Women's Premier League. Reigning champions Loughborough, unbeatable last season. Worcester Wolves are the first to travel here this season to try and get victory from them. Glad to have your company for this one this afternoon as we build up towards the start of this game and this season. Of course, this not the only game happening today as well. And we can have a look at how these two compare with the rest of the Women's Premier League. East London Phoenix and Cardiff Met Archers already doing battle earlier this afternoon on match day 1, and it was victory, as you can see, for East London Phoenix, who take top spots after their first game, but Loughborough Lightning and Worcester Wolves are sure to change the complexion of things in these very early stages of the new season. Let's have a look at what's ahead of them over the course of the next couple of weeks. At least you can see that Loughborough, after today's game at home to Worcester, then travel to East London Phoenix. Already that looking like a tantalising contest. Worcester having to wait a few rounds of games before they get their first home game. They're away at Cardiff next, and then end February welcoming the Phoenix to Worcester. So an exciting season ahead. Let's have a listen then ahead of Loughborough against Worcester to what the two coaches have had to say. First, with Loughborough's title-winning coach from last season. Here's George Bates. Nice one. So George, welcome back for the new season. Tell us how the preparation for this new campaign has been, and what are your targets for the season ahead?
Preparation's been great. The girls have worked really hard over the last kind of 2 or 3 months to be in this position that we're in today. We're playing some really nice stuff in training. The difficult thing now is transferring training to games, and that's what I'm really looking forward to today. We can't really see where we're at until we've played a competitive game and identify some areas to work on and identify what our strengths are and keep working on them. Our targets for the year will be to win the league and win the playoffs again. Obviously we're defending champions, and we've probably got a massive target on our back because we were undefeated last year, so everyone will be wanting to kind of come get us more than they did last year. I'm not too fussed about unbeaten, not unbeaten. I just want to make sure that we're playing nice basketball and that we're successful in winning trophies.
A few new players to add to the squad as well. Just talk us through some of those, and who perhaps should we be looking out for today? Yeah,
so we've recruited really well. So we've signed 4 new players. We've got Jess Atherley, Anna Blees, Maddie Martin and Bo Kramer. Some really good players. Obviously Bo's probably the big name that a lot of people are talking about. Dutch Paralympic gold medalist, European gold medalist, world gold medalist. She's not actually playing today, but for the future that's definitely someone to watch. But also those 3 that we've signed, definitely keep an eye out for them. Some really good young talent there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they kind of flourish in our team. We've got a really kind of nice blend of senior and junior players within the team, so I'm looking forward to seeing what steps they take this year.
And what kind of game are you expecting today against Worcester?
Yeah, it's going to be physical, it's going to be tough. I think that most people will probably say that we're stronger on paper, but a game's not won on paper, and for me I'm more bothered about our performance. I want us to play well and play the right way that we've been kind of practicing in training. So it's going to be tough, it's going to be physical. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how we do.
Good luck for today.
Thank you.
So Simon, new season ahead. What are your thoughts and expectations for the coming campaign?
Well, I think in some ways it's a shame for the season to end last year. You know, we finished good momentum. We got ourselves third in the playoffs, so in some ways we want to build on that momentum. I've got a lot of people back from last year, which is great to see. Added a couple of new faces, so we want to build on that. Try to be more competitive, getting gains more, show that what we can do on the floor, and build through the season like we did last year. And for us, it's always about can we make the players better than they were at the start, and our philosophy doesn't change in that way.
A tough game to start with today at Loughborough. What are you expecting?
A tough game, but it's also a great game in the sense of, we want to test ourselves against the best. Loughborough were the best last year. They are probably the league favourites this year. So for us, it's an opportunity to come and test ourselves. Real puts a marker down for where we are. What I'm expecting, I expect Loughborough to come out. It's their home patch, it's their home crowd. They want to put a marker down for the season. And they want to show that they are the team to beat again. So we expect to come out strong and be really physical and aggressive. We've got to match that if we want to play at this level. And the new players that have come in have got to see what it's all about. So for us, it's a real, it's probably the best opening game of the season we could have.
And just tell us about some of your new players. Anyone to watch out for particularly today?
So we have 8 players returned from last year. Then we've added a lady called Jenny Toes. Jenny's from the North East, plays at Tees Valley. She's a 1-point player. She gives us that ability to put a low pointer in a lineup. She's got a lot of experience, and I think been around some GB squads in the last few years. So I think she'll give us that ability. We've got a young girl called Lily Hickman. Lily's a 2.5. 16, really here for experience, for development, and really about her giving her the chance to grow over the next couple of years. We've then got Neve Hoare, and Neve played here last year. She's moved from Loughborough Lightning to join us at Worcester. Somebody that I think is going to play a vital role for us this year. She's just come back off injury, so might be limited to some extent, but she provides that, and a GB player, so brings that experience to the squad. And then we've also got a 17-year-old lady called Alana Brand. Alana's 4.5. Tall, long, athletic, relatively new to the game, but I think she could have a really bright future. And again, here to try and understand what it is to play at this level. So, though we're adding a couple of players' experience, a couple of players' development to add to the players we have, and hopefully we've got a good group and we'll keep developing as we go.
All the best for today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So those were the 2 coaches ahead of this one. Loughborough Lightning against Worcester Wolves, live here in the opening game of the BWB Women's Premier League season for these 2 sides. And you heard some of these names mentioned there from George Bates, some of the very familiar names from that unbeaten team last season, not more so than number 15, Robin Love, the captain of Lightning, and we'll be hearing from her during the half-time intermission. No inclusion today for number 9, Bo Kramer, the Tokyo 2020 gold medalist, but certainly looking forward to seeing her as the season goes on. As for Worcester Wolves, you heard Simon Fisher mention a few of their new players as well, including number 18, Eleanor Brand, the 4.5 player you can see on the right of your screen, former Lightning player, back today for the opening game of the new season with her new club. And just underneath her there you can see the number 11, Sarah Hope, captain, also a 4.5 player. And likewise we'll be hearing from her in the half-time intermission as well. But all focus on this game. If it's your first time watching wheelchair basketball, or indeed your first time watching the BWB Women's Premier League, then welcome along. I'm sure plenty of you as well will have followed us through the previous campaign and have seen Loughborough's title-winning charge. You'll have also have seen, if you were around with us last season, the improvements being made by Worcester Wolves, and so we'll see in action, hopefully, those improvements as far as they're concerned, and a competitive game all round. These are your match officials with the responsibility of making sure everything is running fairly smoothly and in order. And with just 90 seconds to go until tip-off, we are getting ready for the start of this one at Loughborough University. There's Robin Love, the captain for Loughborough Lightning, and I can tell you she is very excited to be back for the new season. It's felt for these players like quite a long time between the end of last campaign and the start of this. Of course, the men's league began in the autumn of 2022, and our elite women's players waiting just a few months longer for the start of their campaign, but the moment has now arrived. Sarah Hope, centre of shot there, and integral to her team as the 2 huddles begin to take shape ahead of the start of this. The coaches, George Bates here and Simon Fisher, giving their final thoughts before this one begins. Simon Fisher talking about how strong Worcester finished last year. They almost didn't want the season to end, ultimately getting third place in the playoffs. And for him, it's going to be a really good signifier today, just how much they have improved from last season. It doesn't come any tougher for Worcester than this opening game here in Loughborough. George Bates talking about the great preparation that his team has enjoyed, but that always that extra added pressure of being the inaugural champions of the Women's Premier League. And not only winning that title first time round, but then keeping hold of that championship at the first time of asking. Sarah Hope knows it'll be a tough one today. And she's in the circle for tip-off, up against Lucy Robinson. And so the players are ready. The officials are as well. And the new season is off and underway. And it'll be Loughborough in the traditional purple jerseys, going from left to right on your screen. And almost an early score for them there. Did Robin love to keep her alive? And she also unable to find the hoop. Worcester coming from deep, looking to try and carve out their opportunity now with Ellen Fraser, just dropping it off to Kaylee English, and then another one close off the rim. This time from Niamh Horan, the former Lightning player. She would have had the perfect return there if she was able to get a basket in the opening minute of the game. But both sides just finding their range early on. A little bit of shooting practice needed and executed perfectly on this occasion by Lucy Robinson, and that's the opening score of the season. And it has Loughborough 2-0 up as Hope comes the other way. She tests her range as well. First one for her, and close but not close enough. I feel as though Loughborough are getting that first one now after a couple of near misses previously, and they can start to really get their train in motion. Holly Lowndes now able to find the net. It's Fraser finding English. Now Bell. One alone, used her teammates there almost as decoys across the court, but unable to cap it off. And Loughborough now seem to be in the groove. Another one for Robinson. Certainly any cobwebs that maybe appeared through the close season have been brushed aside from the hosts. And starting to look their clinical selves once again as Worcester get their first score of the season. And unsurprisingly, it's Sarah Hope, the captain, who is credited with it. There's Claire Griffiths, and she wants to find the target herself. Certainly the efforts from Loughborough being mixed up across court. So it's a Worcester restart. English surveying the scene and trying to just find the spare player. Again, the Wolves going close. The turnover, something that Loughborough are relishing. And Love this time setting up the latest scorer for them, and Holly Lowndes. It's 2 apiece for her and Robinson. Means that it's a 6-point cushion as this opening period ticks towards the halfway mark. Still, Worcester just being forced wide really with their efforts. They're not getting that freedom to go centre. Meanwhile, on the transition, Loughborough really dissecting their way into shooting positions. Love the architect, but unable to bring it under a spell on that occasion. Unsurprisingly, a physical start to this game as well. Worcester are able to get a few throws away. They've put a few up so far. Only one finding the basket. Up from an angle. Unable to get her second of the match. That's Robinson. Love trying to supply. It's no basket there. There was a push, and it will be a Loughborough ball with Sarah Hope, the guilty party. Robin Love to restart things, and Robinson will be her target. And there she is. There it goes. Second chance for Love and Co. This time she'll go herself and puts one up beautifully. That gets her off the mark. Those of you familiar with wheelchair basketball will know of her exploits for Team GB. Of course, finishing 4th in Rio 2016 with Team GB, and Robin Love, the 32-year-old, spoke to her before the game, and well, she looked so enthused to be back here on court and playing a competitive game. Timeout called from Worcester. It's the first of the game, and Simon Fisher straight out of his chair to bring over his troops. And I think for them, it's certainly been the start that they expected from Loughborough. Took both teams a couple of minutes to find their range. Loughborough, once they got the first basket, the rest seemed to tumble thereafter. Simon Fisher's main focus here with Worcester perhaps is a bit more interplay down the other end of the court. A lot of their opportunities that are coming are when Loughborough are forcing them wide, and hasn't really been too many trades in passes from Wolves. They've very much had to use the space left by the decoys around them and try and find the basket, but the only time they've done that so far was when their captain Sarah Hope was able to strike. No issues in terms of team unity for Worcester. And they've got a promising restart as well to maybe just crank on a little bit of pressure. Bell spare. Across it goes, the opportunity for Fraser. Loughborough with tough defence, but not enough to deter Kaylee English. And Worcester have doubled their tally. Love with that change of pace. Such a strong dribbler, composed as well, and able to hit the target there. Lightning to restart things. Once again, it's through their captain. Talking about how much Robin Love was looking forward to be back today. She tried the nonchalant drop there into shooting area, but was unable to grasp it in the end, and wants to have it back. But Robin Love likewise to Sarah Hope, and I spoke to her as well. Really looking forward to the fact that every single game over the course of this season will be live streamed. The dedicated amongst you may have been with us a couple of hours ago for the fixture in East London, with the home side winning that one. And Loughborough on course themselves in the very early stages here, and that's a great breakaway and a clinical finish from Lucy Robinson. Third basket of the first period. Robin Love happily putting that on a plate for Robinson. And the Lightning are showing their full force now. More like it from Loughborough on a defensive point of view as well, getting fingers in there to tip the ball clear, and on the transition it's the integral Love. Great take from Robinson and dispatched beautifully again. That probably the best of the lot. Taken with one arm by Robinson. She had to lean slightly behind her, but didn't deter her at all. She very composed in that situation. Something we shouldn't be too surprised about now. And 10 points the gap. Bell trying to get away from the attention of Griffiths. Finds the spare. And in it goes, and it's a great basket. Kelly English with a really impressive one there for Worcester off the glass, and an opportunity to add another point on here as well for English. Worcester's making a change, and off there is Niamh Horan. And how it feels for her to be back on the old stomping ground as far as she's concerned, as English puts it up but is unable to add to the Worcester score. Now, bit of traffic in the centre, that's allowed a bit of space here for Loughborough, which they don't capitalise on. Holly Lowndes unable to match Lucy Robinson's trio of baskets in this first period. And here's hope for Worcester. Griffiths, though, stumping out that hope. And now the breakaway is on once more. Lowndes this time looking for Love, and Hope got the touch on that. Bit of a discussion as to whose ball it will be, but it will be Loughborough's. And Sarah Hope with her second personal foul of the first period. Robin Love being able to afford a smile there, despite you can see the taxing nature of this first period. To keep her breath under control. I think it's been, for both teams, very much quick out the blocks, and you can see their eagerness to have got the new season underway. They've been successful on the first occasion. So she won't be able to regain and reopen Loughborough's 10-point lead. In fact, it will just stay at an 8-point lead. 2 blanks out of 2 there. Slight stoppages. One of the officials just comes to the near side to check on what appears to be perhaps a technical area with the score clock, but that's now been reset. So 2:25 remaining now. And away come Worcester. Chance for a couple of the substitutes to combine. Laughlin unable to keep a grasp of it. Fitzpatrick. Love to Martin. Martin again. Puts it up. Unlucky. Her first sight on glory there for Loughborough. And I think, like pretty much every player on the court in this opening period, it's just taken one or two throws to loosen up and find the range. There's Hope, nice take. Look at that as well, just leaning back, always in control of that one, but life was made difficult for her by Love. And Hope being blocked off on the way back as well. And the Blease, one of Loughborough's 4 new players in the team there with the offensive foul, so Worcester have it back, and well, if they are able to get an unanswered basket between now and the interval, then it'll be some boost for Worcester's morale going into the intermission. Hope beautifully just lofted in there, and able to be finished off by Jenny Toes. Robin Love on the charge. Loughborough trying to just create a bit more carnage within the Worcester ranks. Love's unlucky, but for every spurned Loughborough opportunity, there's that chance for Worcester to capitalise, something they've not done too much of so far. This stage of the match, they don't want to be looking back later on and thinking what may have been, and they've taken more opportunities, but nothing more that Sarah Hope could have done about that one. She dispatched it nicely to tighten things up to a 6-point buffer now in favour of the hosts. And you'll be able to hear a lot of encouragement as well from the Worcester substitutes courtside. Enthusiastically, you can see on the bottom right, they've been getting behind their teammates. Here's Hope, already integral in this opening period. She doesn't have an option when she thinks about going for herself, but this time she's able to find Laughlin. That wasn't too far off. Another one just off the edge, and Love is the one on the transition again to charge things down the other end. And well, how about that? And a roar there from the Scot. I think they know Loughborough just how significant that one feels before the end of the first period. 13.9 remaining on the clock, and a chance for Robin Love to this time notch 1 or 2 more points on the board as well. Plenty of fine margins in this opening period. Robin Love guilty of that there, but won back by Anna Blease. Just about time for that one there from Siobhan Fitzpatrick. I don't think she quite thought that she'd be able to get that on target, but Loughborough Lightning, last season's Invincibles, up and running in a first period that certainly took a minute or two for both teams to perhaps find their arm, but once Loughborough did, they didn't look back. Worcester have certainly been in this match so far and have plenty of reason to be optimistic going into the remainder of this first half. Here's some of the best of the action so far, and Loughborough, once they did get that first basket, really did begin to dust off any cobwebs that may have began to grow over the close season. and they look like themselves from how we remember them from the last campaign. There's Sarah Hope getting Worcester's first of the season. A couple for her in those 10 minutes. But encouragement throughout for the visitors. That was Kaylee English on target there. Some good breakaways and transitions from Loughborough, and it was noticeable as that first period went on that with every transition the more clinical Loughborough were, and also more effective they were with some of the blockers that were allowing the likes of Robin Love to go forwards with less opposition to contend with. Worcester struggling to get through the traffic on the retreat. And even when they did get plenty of numbers back, as you can see there, Robin Love dispatching with ease. So it's Robin Love, captain of Loughborough, up on Sarah Hope there, the captain of Worcester so far. The battle between Love and Hope in the BWB Women's Premier League, and this curtain raiser for Loughborough and Worcester currently sees the hosts, the reigning champions, leading by 16 points to 8 as the final 10 minutes of the first half begins. Here's Brand, another one of those players that Simon Fisher spoke to us about pre-match, saying that Alana's long and athletic, new to the game, so a lot for her to learn over the course of this season. I'm sure that's part of the challenge for all of these athletes, no matter how long they've been on the scene for. There's a constant need to improve and to develop. Zigzagging through is Dowds well there. Helps it back in, and a bit of fortune there for Brand. But that fortune ran out on that second bounce off the basket. It wasn't to drop in down the centre. Ball will be given back to Robin Love to commence things from the Loughborough ball. Well, that was quite a stylish throw towards the basket there from Maddie Martin, who was nearly had a chair taken from her. One wheel came up off the court and she was able to throw it over her head, but unable to quite finish that off. There's always a style about elite teams in sport. Loughborough no different. They get the basics right, but they can add that bit of finesse as well. And a Blease with a big basket for her. New in the team, and they're on defensive duty as well. Doing really well. In fact, she's got the steal. She's going to have the support with Fitzpatrick as well, taken in a stride and finished off nicely. And that is the polished sort of Loughborough Lightning back to front performance that we'd expect to see from them. Things really starting to click for the Loughborough team. It's worth saying as well, decent crowd in tonight for this first game on a Sunday evening. You can barely see an empty seat down on the near side, with all eyes on the court, and all eyes at the moment on Alana Brand. Shot clock running out here for Worcester, but they haven't really got anywhere to go. It's found its way to Hope. Not quite. Always useful for Worcester to be able to rely on the height and presence of Sarah Hope when that ball's dumped in. She's always got that reach. Able to just get a hand above the opponents and bring it under a spell. A couple of changes being made by Worcester as well.
And also on the floor for Wolves,
For a couple of penalty shots now for Sarah Hope. So this for two. And that'll be good enough for one. Sarah Hope immediately thrust into the action and has earned a well-deserved rest there. Coming off as she watches her teammates try and tackle the challenge of Love and Co. Well, this for two after a push from Amber Laughlin. So here's Robin Love again. And just before that, the official just down on the near side, once again on the desk, to make sure all the technicalities are above board. Doesn't appear that the scoreboard is the culprit on this occasion. Maybe just a bit of manual totting up being done on those pieces of paper down there. It's the same for the officials as it is for these athletes and getting back into the swing of things for the new season.
And today will be Robin Love to the line for two.
Here goes Robin Love then. Maybe slightly getting frustrated with herself that she's not quite dispatching these in the way she'd expect of herself. But it does now mean that Lightning are 12 ahead. And it's a scoreline that has certainly started to open up now. And we've already had that result earlier with East London Phoenix winning by 40 points. That's certainly setting a marker down in that aspect. Maybe an extra little bit of motivation for Loughborough, although such is their professionalism and their stoic elite level of play, that well, the mindset really is on their own game. Laughlin. How can Worcester play without their captain on court? And violation there against the clock means that Loughborough have it back. And again, a couple of occasions now where Worcester seem to have had ideas dry up. That's the first time they've got the violation regarding the clock, but as I said before, when they have just struggled for that little bit of invention up the court. They've been able to rely on their captain to apply the presence up there. But that's not the case at the moment, so it is often looked for. Well gathered by Brand, and that is an effort that is in very nicely from Alan Fraser. And that brings up Worcester into double figures. So Loughborough 21, Worcester 11. Just in case you're joining us there, Worcester, as you can see on the scoreboard, are up to 11 points. Well, is it third time lucky for Loughborough? Yes. Sometimes fortune favours the unbeatable, and Siobhan Fitzpatrick was able to just watch that agonisingly drop into the basket as far as Worcester are concerned. But they found a bit of impetus now here, the away side. It's unlucky from Fraser. Look at the purpose that Love comes forward with. Brave, strong, able dribbling, nonchalant layoff as well. The finish wasn't quite there to match on that occasion. Laughlin, as things open up for the visitors, can they make the most of that? Difficult to find a spare vest, but they don't really need it on that occasion. It was an impressive two-pointer from Amber Laughlin. Here's Fraser, she's starting to impress. Good pick up this from Fraser, as she can find an orange vest. It's taken away from Eleanor Brandt there. Well, it is a time of the game where Loughborough, and maybe that extra bit of stamina that they may have, threatens to pull them clear of Worcester, but Worcester have kept close tabs on them. Still 10 points the gap. They'd rather it was fewer, but well, I have to say that I think they've got every reason to be positive, Worcester, from this first half so far. They've got their captain back on court, and Loughborough still not quite the imperious offensive prospects that we've previously seen. More gathered back by Love, and now a chance for progression into the Worcester half. Here's Holly Lowndes. See how casual Loughborough are when they've got the ball as well. Their mind is racing, but they always keep composure, and they're always safe in the knowledge that they've got an option around them. No fear for them of the shot clock violations. But they're not on the money there. Sarah Hope is. That was dumped beautifully into the basket. How was that? Right. How can Loughborough respond? Fresh impetus shown by Worcester Wolves, but here's the spare, and there it is. And Claire Griffiths with her first in the campaign, and she'll have enjoyed that. Sarah Hope across for Fraser. Oh, she's unlucky. Deserves a basket, more or two, because of her contribution so far. And well, the double dribble there, if you like, from Loughborough. Time out by Loughborough. Well, what a breathless second period this has been. If you are just joining us for this British wheelchair basketball women's Premier League tie. It is match day 1 between Loughborough Lightning and Worcester Wolves, so we look forward to having your company for the season, with every one of this season's games being streamed live on the YouTube page that you're watching this one from right now. You may have seen the East London Phoenix winning earlier on today by a handsome margin as well, so it proved to be. Loughborough here with their coach George Bates giving them the instructions, his second season in charge of the Loughborough club, and you can see that they are being well supported in strong number here on the Loughborough University campus. The best team in the land last season, leading by 10 points against Worcester Wolves on this occasion, but still some way to go, and every reason for Simon Fisher and his team to be buoyed by some really promising aspects to their play. Here's Fraser. Laughlin. Well, why not? Not quite this time around. Here's Robin Love, and well, that was Amber Laughlin's presence there that caused the mistake, and it will mean a Worcester restart. And has been a physical game that George Bates said beforehand he expected. Of course, his opposite number, the Worcester head coach Simon Fisher, was relishing today's test, really. His viewpoint being, well, if we're making the progress that we say we are, this is the type of game to go and show it. Here's Griffiths. The risk of running out of time here for Loughborough. They've not had that problem yet, and they won't here, and in fact Griffiths nearly made something count of it. But a bit of a dry spell here for the hosts, encouraging Wolves and Amber Laughlin to perhaps strike back and just chip away at that deficit. 10 points the gap, and that's pretty much how it's been for most of this second period. Robin Love. Griffiths, can she widen things out? Yes, she can. Another one for Claire Griffiths, who may be the anchor of things back there for Loughborough on many occasions, but she's been able to provide some magic touches down the other way. That was ruthless from Sarah Hope. She was saying beforehand, Sarah Hope, that she was a bit worried after more recently playing hockey, that she'd get herself in the right frame of mind to be back in full basketball mode, but she's looked nothing other than in full basketball mode so far this afternoon. And she's bringing confidence in her team as well. Fraser and Laughlin, those two have been key. Bell. Seemed to float away from the basket rather than go towards it there, and this is an easy pickup for Loughborough to perhaps dump it in the other way. Oh, and that was an agonising one, rolling around the periphery of the basket. It wouldn't have been a bad way for Loughborough to cap off the half. They're at the moment being made to work for this 10-point lead. Worcester are putting in quite a shift. Loughborough's quality there on many an occasion, but it's not been the complete performance by any stretch in that first half. But it is the reigning invincible champions of the BWB Women's Premier League that lead the way at half-time. So Loughborough Lightning leading 27 points to 17 against Worcester Wolves in this curtain raiser for the new Women's Premier League season. And we will have the second half for you in around 10 minutes time, but during the break, as I've been mentioning a couple of times during the first half, I caught up with both captains ahead of this one, Robin Love of Loughborough Lightning and Sarah Hope of Worcester Wolves. We've seen what they could do on the court, but what were they saying before the game? First from Robin of Loughborough. So Robin, welcome back. How delighted are you to be back and looking forward to the start of a new season?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here today. I cannot wait. Pre-season has just felt like it's just dragged on, and you know, it's been worth it. We've got some new players in, working them into our systems, and just really excited to get on the floor and put all that hard work to good use.
What are the key areas you've been working on as, you know, an unbeatable title side of last season? How can you improve on that this year?
Well, like I said, you know, got some new players in, so it's really about bringing them up to speed and to play our style, which is fast, aggressive, team style of basketball. So we've really just been working on that. Sometimes it's about working on the simple things. You get the simple things right, the game should take care of itself.
And a challenge today in Worcester, of course, you know, familiar opponents. What do you expect today in that sense?
Oh, absolutely. Worcester are a great team. I think that they were the most improved team last season from the beginning. Really enjoyable team to watch, and we know that, of course, you've got Sarah Hope, Kaylee English, and they've got some new faces as well that, of course, that we've got to scout on the fly today. So, you know, I'm sure that they'll throw some things at us, and I'm really excited to see what that battle brings. A new season, every game will be streamed live online. There'll be new people watching this. What should they expect from this season in the Premier League? Well, if it's your first time watching wheelchair basketball, I think it's just about enjoying it. It's a fantastic sport. I love it. I think, you know, it's one of the best sports in the world. But it's just about watching how us as Lightning especially, we really work together as a team. It won't be about one person trying to one-on-one. It's all about how you can work in twos and threes to really create a good, strong basket. So for us, that's what it's all about, and I hope that during the season people see that as well. But yeah, enjoy it, because it's a fantastic league. Excellent. Good luck, Robin. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So Sarah, welcome back for the new season.
Thank you.
What are your sort of hopes and expectations of today and the season ahead?
I think, you know, last season being the first, everyone was a little bit just getting used to each other and how we all play and mesh together as a team. And I think this season is about picking up where we left off at the end of last season. Our last game of playoffs was a win, so we just kind of wanted to carry that momentum forwards and keep improving, really, hoping that the summer break hasn't knocked us back too much. For today, we have some new members of the squad, so it'll be about sort of integrating them into our gameplay, really just setting a benchmark for the rest of the season ahead, so that we can, you know, put everyone to a test today and then see what we need to do moving forwards.
What are the main improvements that viewers should expect from your team this season?
Hopefully more scoring opportunities. We've really been working on shooting, so really hoping that we'll see a bit more in the points column for us. Defensive switching is getting quicker as well. People are just sort of gelling more in general, I think. So yeah, fingers crossed.
And of course, every game this season being live streaming in the league as well. Just talk to us a bit about that greater exposure, and of course every game just meaning that little bit more and new people watching as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just from personal experience, I've had more people just commenting on the fact that they're watching games, they want to get involved, they didn't realise it was available, when can I come and watch a game? And I think without the live stream, we wouldn't have that advertising, we wouldn't have that publicity. So the exposure it's getting is just really bolstering, you know, just the league in general and women's disability sport. I mean, the fact that we now have an international playing for Loughborough, as well as you know, in London, people are willing to come over here and play, and I think it's only a good thing for the league.
Well, all the best for today.
Thanks very much, appreciate it.
Hello, welcome back. We're getting ready for the second half here in this BWB Women's Premier League clash between Loughborough Lightning and Worcester Wolves. These two sides' first game of the new season, and it is the Lightning in purple, captained by number 15, Robin Love, who lead by 10 points going into period 3. And they'll be looking to maybe just gloss some of their offensive play. We've seen glimpses and glimmers of the Loughborough Lightning side that were able to remain unbeatable last season on their way to the title, and also winning the playoffs as well. And I'd expect to see a little bit of that as well from Worcester Wolves. They've had reason for optimism, no doubt, in this game. They were telling us about their improvements, and I think it's fair to say those improvements have been evident. Loughborough going close. Bit of a jagged start to this second half, a bit like the start of the first period as well. Just taking both sets of players. Few throws to really find the net. There's hope. Always that outlet for Worcester. She too unable to hit the basket and capitalise on some of those missed chances that Loughborough have had at the other end. But on the transition, it's Robinson, top scorer in the game. Helped on one more there for Love. She's hit the rim too. Fraser plays with a real ease across court. Biding her time, but aware of the shot clock as well. There's hope. There's some room to manoeuvre with. And again, it's close. And they can't get a second bite of it either. Now Love, the architect of all that is good for Loughborough. And there they go. Well, foul called, so no score from that particular play, but a chance for Loughborough to continue to pile on some pressure. Oh, and there we have it. Really smart two-pointer. Robin Love will probably think that she was overdue that one. First score of the second half, and it's a Loughborough one. And, well, this really is a mirror image of that first half, because once Loughborough have found their arm, so now have Worcester as well. So, for the first time in the third period, both teams trading baskets. And an early timeout in this third period. Timeout called by George Bates. He wants to once again win the league, win the playoffs, but 4 new players in the Loughborough ranks, of course, including the international Bo Kramer, the Dutch athlete who isn't playing today. But it'll be really exciting for not just Loughborough, but for the league in general once she pulls on a purple vest. It's Robin Love, who has been the star of this show so far. two captains on the scoreboard in the second period. Well, you can tell the excitement, the buzz around Loughborough when they announced their 4 new signings, include that of Bo Kramer, player of such pedigree in the game. Of course, capped off by that Olympic gold medal, but there's so much more to her as well. And yeah, there'll be real excitement once she begins in the East Midlands. And you'll be able to watch all of her performances in the BWB Women's Premier League with us on the live stream over the course of this season. And well, I can guarantee to you already, you will not want to miss that. Loughborough getting on fine without her now. Question for them is, can they pull any further clear than the 10 points? That's pretty much been the buffer for the lion's share of the match pretty much since the end of that first period. We're able to resume things. Here's Love. Always busy, always an eye on what the next pass is going to be. And it's usually pretty nailed on. And that was bob on by Lucy Robinson. Another 2-pointer. Worcester always with that need on every attack, really, once Loughborough scored, to make the most of their offensive play as well, but that was a bit ambitious from Kaylee English as the Loughborough drum begins to beat, and the rhythm of their team's play certainly quickening over the course of the contest. And that's Robinson again, and that's unlucky. Laughlin. Worcester always just are going to be just a bit slower getting up the other end of the court than their opponents. That's just the nature of Loughborough's elite levels of fitness, really. And Hope there with a rare mistake, and that allows Loughborough to charge up the other way again. And you can see how quickly those Loughborough vests are pitched up inside Worcester territory. And look at that. Joy for Robin Love, joy for Loughborough. Scoreline looking smarter as far as they are concerned now. It's up to a 14-point berth. Griffiths. As I said, you do notice just how much quicker Loughborough are able to go up the other end of the court. It does mean that they just have those extra few seconds on top of their opponent to pick that right pass and get the shot away. Loughborough there probably getting from one end of the court to the other in less than 10 seconds. Worcester more like 14, 15 seconds, and obviously that means you're really eating up to your 24 that you get before you have to dispatch one towards the target. So, Loughborough 35, Worcester 19. You can see on the scoreboard there there's 4:53 remaining of this third period. It's Simon Fisher who's called the timeout. And he has been working well with his team to really hone up those offensive plays, getting the strong baskets, but also enjoying their basketball as well. So they want to enjoy a defeat, but I think there's, based on the performance so far, every reason to enjoy this one. So the Loughborough team are showing some of their form. The Loughborough crowd are as well, not just a drum, but even a tambourine. Quite the musical complement in the crowd here. So it will be a Worcester restart. How quickly can they get up the court here with Hope? Real leader. Great engine as well on her. And this is also a testament to the Loughborough defence. Whenever that ball spills out again off the glass, who's picking it up first? It's usually the woman in purple. On this occasion, it's going to be a Worcester restart, but very rare when Worcester do get the chance that they get another bite of the cherry after it. There you go, gobbled up by Robinson. And sending it into the space for Love there. Frustration for the Scot that he wasn't able to lay into her path. Loughborough showing they can mix it up. They don't just dribble out of trouble, they could go direct as well. Maddie Martin wasn't too sure about that decision against her. But the official pretty confident in his verdict. And the judgment made, meaning it will be a Worcester ball. There's Maddie Martin, number 27. Oren starts to go alone, and still awaiting a goal against the former side. And again, a direct ball over. Worcester stretched, and Love made that look like she could do it in her sleep. She probably could. Loughborough well on track now, and their offensive qualities being spearheaded by the Super Scot. How about that from Ellen Fraser? She's going to get an opportunity as well to add a bit more onto that and just slightly wither that yawning buffer that's beginning to develop. It's now 16 between the two. George Bates having a word with one of the officials. Just shows you that George Bates not happy to rest what he's seen so far, and he'll compete with every decision that he feels unjust. He'll be happy that no points were hemorrhaged on that occasion, as Fraser was unable to hit the basket from the dead ball. The brief stoppage, but here's Robin Love to get us back rocking and rolling again. And from 0 to 100 she goes. There she is, up the other end. Ready to be an integral part of this next potentially point swinging moment. And there it is, 18 points now in front. And that pendulum is looking like a very nice shade of purple. And it's certainly on the Loughborough side of the scale. Sarah Hope. She wants to supply it to a teammate. It looks like that option has gone, but there is always the arsenal that she has from that right arm to strike against the opponent. So 16 now the buffer. If you are just joining us for this BWB Women's Premier League contest, Loughborough Lightning against Worcester Wolves. It is the reigning champions in purple, undefeated from last season. And they are leading by 16 points. The gap at half-time was 10. But Loughborough have had another 12 since then, and Worcester another 6. Things becoming slightly unstuck on a more frequent basis for the visitors. Lovely play to get out and release Love. She's got Martin hovering underneath the net. Always a pass on for Love, and Robinson is a pretty lethal option to utilise, as she's shown once again. Loughborough skipping over the 40-point mark with some class, and getting caught there was Jess Dowdeswell, almost suffocated by the swarm of purple around her. Martin, back for Love. They can't catch her, they can't stop her. That was quite something right on the stroke of the stop clock, running out of time. Pulled out of the top drawer. Offensive infringement. Oh, and a bit of a bump there. He may have just caught between the official and Claire Griffiths, but just a minor collision, as here we could see the super basket from Robin Love. It will be one that I'm sure, out of the selection that she scored this evening, she might want to see that one a couple more times. And of course, the great thing about the live stream for every single game during the course of the season is you can watch it back at any time to see some of those best moments. Now, that was a great combination from Loughborough, one of the best quick-fire ones they've had in the scoring area, but unable to finish it off with aplomb. Dowdeswell sees hope, surrounded by purple. Two of them in front of her. They won't stop her, but the ridge of the basket will. Love, oh, stylish, superb. Well, they're really beginning to dust off the playbook now, Loughborough. And in what was a pretty tight-fought first half, the second period is beginning to tumble into Loughborough's favour. A 22-point difference, and there's quite a sizable gap, particularly when you're considering that it's nearly double the points that Worcester have achieved. I doubt that Simon Fisher perhaps would have put a target on a margin in this game, because, well, the first priority is to try and win the game. But if you can't beat Loughborough, and it's understandable, how far off can you get? Robin Love not far off on the first occasion. She'll want to be able to brush up on this second time round. It's almost deja vu. But Lucy Robinson on the scoring streak again, and that ball orbiting the basket before deciding to drop in. thank you very much, she says. And a couple more changes being made by Loughborough. It sees a debut for Jess Atherley as well, the number 98. She's come on and is currently flirting near the centre. Just to add to that mean Loughborough defence. And a chance for the likes of Robinson to take a breather. Still Captain Robin Love out on court. Hope, why not? Right at the end of the third period, that would have been something to savour. Lucy Hope, though, going into this latest team talk, and the complexion has certainly altered. Whereas at the end of the second period, there was a 10-point gap. That disparity now is over double that. It's 24 points the difference, with Loughborough riding high on 47 and Worcester on 23. Another one for Hope, but plenty more for Robin Love and also Lucy Robinson, the two real lead basket makers in this season opener. What joy to watch these two combine in such a scintillating fashion, and mixing it up as well. Not often Worcester have been caught like this, it must be said. But if Robin Love hasn't got the ball in hand to be able to drive into the opponent's half on the transition, then she'll happily speed onto it and dispatch like she did there and there again. Different types of baskets, but all brilliant to watch, and glad Ellen Fraser got that one under her belt, because she's been one of the standout Worcester performers. Nice one for Maddie Martin as well, to really add some gloss onto this impressive scoreline. Sarah Hope, she wants to use her teammates, but when they don't have that option as a luxury, she can always slam it in. So we're about to have the restart with Amy Robinson. You saw there getting that basket. She's on the sideline, but Lindsay Spears out there, and as I mentioned, Jess Atherley as well, making her debut. But we're into the final period, and it's Worcester to lead the first offensive, but not for long. And that was first involvement there for Lindsay Spears, who was enough of a distraction for Sarah Hope. Bit of a laugh and a joke out there for the impervious Sarah Hope. Well, a rare violation on the shot clock from Loughborough. Credit there to Worcester and their defensive resilience. And we'll be marking your card at the end of the game as well, as to what you can expect in the weeks to come as part of this Women's Premier League season. These two sides back in action once again before long. It's a busy February. Loughborough on their travels to the capital to face the East London Phoenix next time out, and Worcester also on the road once again. In fact, It's not until the end of February that they get to play in front of their own supporters for the first time this season. Worcester doing all they can just to swallow up all available options that Loughborough have got. It's a task much easier to speak of than it is to do. Good defence from Worcester. And look at that, no purple jerseys at the moment, able to get underneath the basket. They change the angle and they score brilliantly though. And Maddie Martin almost with a basket from nowhere. It looked like that Worcester had Loughborough's card mark, should I say. But the Lightning as efficient as always. Here go Lightning. Love combining with Anna Blease, another of the Loughborough debutantes. Blease thought about it. Oh, brilliant. She pictured that before she was able to craft it, but once she had that brush in her hand, she absolutely brought that canvas to life. It was fantastic basket for her. She made it look very easy as well. And I think one thing when you're playing for a team as good as Loughborough, team as efficient as Loughborough, it does make you feel more relaxed, particularly at this stage of a game when you've got a lead of 26 now that Loughborough have. There's less pressure on taking your chances, and in fact maybe that brings out some of your best basketball. Here's Blease again, can't get away from Bell. Robin Love puts one up, and we'll get a couple of extra shots for her endeavours as well. Personal fouls continuing to grow for Worcester in this final period. They've made 4 already. Loughborough yet to make any infringements, and I think that has been a signal on most aspects of this game as to how Worcester perhaps have deteriorated in a few ways as the matches wore on, and Loughborough not necessarily getting stronger, but the fact that they've got that extra resilience perhaps beginning to tell. But it has been a really competitive game, and a knowing nod from Robin Love as she for the first time is able to coolly dispose of 2 out of 2 there. Well taken by Fraser. Good from Fraser. Where's the outlet? Good play from Brown, using that extra bit of reach that she has on most opponents. Fraser, by the time she got the shot away, the violation had already been called. Love. Making a rare offensive infringement. Well, 6 minutes to go, and as it stands, Loughborough getting a well-earned victory on the board as they look to defend their title. And now they're really beginning to show some superiority, and just utterly unable to get a basket for a new side. Hope. Oh, even though she took a bit of contact in the back there, she was able to wonderfully score that one. Well, plenty of positives for Worcester. They definitely showed in the first half the kind of improvements that they told us to expect from them. And I'm sure that they'll be able to take that into the rest of their season. Another timeout called by Simon Fisher. You can see just how taxing this match has been for some of the Wolves players, and certainly Loughborough know they've been in a game, make no bones about that. George Bates has barely been seated throughout, and he's still feeding out instructions to his team. Simon Fisher will be philosophical about this, and will have the knowledge that perhaps it's not going to be their day today, but any reason to believe that they'll get victories on the board this season. Of course, their most recent game in the playoffs last season was a victory, meaning that they finished third. Robin Love. So many minutes that she's racked up today. Just shows how good a player she is, that Loughborough, as such a good team, need her ubiquitously on court. The ever-present Robin Love. Robinson. And Love. And almost despondently there, Sarah Hope looked at Love, who was in and free, and scored a really nice basket. And it means that Loughborough now well over the half-century mark, are 55 points to 27 ahead. They've pretty much continued at a similar rate to their first half scoring. It's Worcester more so that have not been able to keep on with their level of finishing. 17 points for them in the opening 20 minutes, and thereafter they've added 10 points on top of that. Rubber the fingers there. As Worcester make a change, and a bit of treatment required in that sense. But back on the court, Eleanor Brands keeps the show on the road. Love unlucky.
Number 5, Kat Giro. Her first personal foul. And with Worcester in the penalty, it means that Rachel will go to the line of 2.
Well, these opportunities were a source of frustration for Robin Love earlier on in the match, but just makes it look pretty routine now. There we go. Earlier on, at least London Phoenix winning by a margin of 40. Worcester, I don't think, are going to allow Loughborough to quite match that. Griffiths. Love commanding things. Commander-in-Chief. Leading from the front and leading on the scorecard. Griffiths. And now they're really in the swing of things with Lucy Robinson adding another 2 on the scoreboard. It's a 30-point gap now, and it was so nip and tuck for so long, wasn't it? Just 10 points to the margin. But it's slightly unravelled for Worcester, but more so Loughborough just carried on with the pressure and probably been more and more clinical in front of the basket as the game's gone on as well. Love with a flick over, and that is quite a finish. Moving forward there was Dowdeswell. Still has it. Fraser. Defence from Loughborough, and it meant that Worcester arc was always going to struggle to penetrate. Chance for 2 more for Loughborough with just over 60 seconds left on the watch.
5 hours so unfortunately that is her out of the rest of the game. She has run now by 18 along.
So another personal foul from Sarah Hope, and that's probably going to be now the end of her afternoon. Robinson this time on scoring duty. Quite on the first attempt. And as Robin Love found out, just take a few practices at the start of this season to get those right, but it didn't matter. Dana Blease was still able to finish anyhow. Nice take, nice finish. That was good from Alana Brand. She's not had loads of opportunities to score, but she's taken that one with relative ease, so it seemed. Robinson. Love on the move. Please. Oh, yeah. A really good team goal. And in the final minute, that is a real sign of Loughborough going up, up, up and away with their performance levels over the course of this fixture. Well, the brand seems to be one to watch over the course of this season. The Worcester number 18, keep a tab on her over the course of the campaign. And as you watch every game with us from the BWB Women's Premier League, where here the reigning champions, last season's Invincibles, have started as they left off. 67 to 33. It is a comprehensive and ultimately emphatic victory. Hard fought, certainly the word to use, as Worcester did not make life easy for the reigning champions, but the Loughborough ultimately convincing, clinical, and showed their quality, and that is reflected with the gap in the scoreline between the two. So it's a 34-point victory for Loughborough. They win 67 points to 33. Now, we'll be very shortly trying to get some post-match reaction down on courtside. So we'll be down there shortly, hopefully speaking to George Bates of Loughborough Lightning on the back of that one, but a good performance from Simon Fisher's team, no doubt, as well. Plenty for them to build on through the course of the season, but Loughborough Lightning victorious once again in this new season. 67 points to 33. They beat Worcester Wolves. Stay with us.
So here we go then, George, this is yours here, thank you very, very much indeed. Hey Coach George, thanks for joining us here for a quick look back at today's game. Just a quick one, we'll wait for our team to come and join us over here as we record this. George, first of all, congratulations on a really that third quarter that you started to really pull away. What did you say at half time to the girls?
Woke up a little bit. We played some nice stuff in the first half, just not consistently enough, and that was our biggest problem. We were rushing things, not making smart decisions, so it was just about doing the stuff and doing right on the training. And they did that in the third quarter, and it was ended up being quite nice, but still plenty to work on for next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great start obviously the season with a win, and this season in particular, you're coming into your second season, you're still undefeated in the league now, and obviously into the playoffs. Does that moniker still grow, or challenge you want to embrace that sort of fact? You know, yeah, we are undefeated, and we are going to be tough to beat.
I think it's other people to talk about. For me, we could go undefeated and lose a playoff pattern. What's the point of that? If you were going to drop a game, you don't want to do that last game, so we just take it game by game and, you know, give it a roll.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking ahead to next week, obviously, Eastland and Phoenix coming up. That's going to be a real tough game. What are you going to be saying to the girls during training? I'm just going to take too much because no one can play tactics, but what are you going to be saying to the girls in training this week? It's going to be more of the same, I guess. Certainly the second half.
Yeah, I think it would just be touching up on the stuff that we did well, like kind of just getting that solidified and then working on the areas that we definitely need to improve on. But it'll be a hard week scrap for the girls, and we're looking forward to a big game next weekend.
Well, it's always George, thanks so much for talking to us. Before you do go, though, we want to ask, who is the lead centre player of the match today?
The player of the match is Robin Love, I think 21 point triple double.
What an attacking performance.
This can go towards some baby stuff.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you very much, Coach Stuart Bates.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Robin, if you could just stay with us, we're going to get a quick word from you as well. Do we need to get another photo in front? No problem at all. Captain delivering in the opening game. I'll give you that one there for you. Robin, first of all, congratulations. What a fantastic achievement, first of all, to get the first player in the match in the first game. Thank you very much, could it?
No, can't get much better than that, but honestly for me it's all about people out there making the noise for us, and it was flat at times, but we needed you guys to raise us, and you absolutely did that, so thank you so much. I know it's Sunday night, you want to have your roast dinner, so thank you for coming out to watch us.
Absolutely. Massive thank you to everybody for coming. I've got to ask you, what have you personally worked in the off-season? Because it's something was showing there again today. You're absolutely fantastic all over the floor. Fantastic shots in both the baseline, first in the midfield position and inside the paint as well. Look like you're mostly all over the place.
Yeah, I'm all over the shop, I get told that quite a lot. No, honestly, the pre-season has been all about working in our real players and just building together as a team. As you see, we've still got some stuff to work out, and we'll get a few players not here, including Jess and Will Kramer, who's a gold medal Dutch player, so you'll see our next week compete for us, which we're really excited. So for us, I'm just grateful for these girls and the effort and the work that they put in and all the driving that they do to make it possible.
Yeah, absolutely. One final question from us, which was about next week. Obviously, Eastland and Phoenix, it's going to be game 2. If you're looking forward to it, you just going to be more of the same, I guess, throughout the week.
Absolutely, it's all just about working hard. They're a great team. They've got some new signings this season. They're definitely stacked. You know what, so I mean, and it's about building for this and having confidence in what we do and who we are, because we're Lightning, so let's go.
Absolutely. One more time, please give up your key centre player off the match. Robin Love! Enjoy the house of voucher as well. Thank you very much everybody for coming this evening. It's been a genuine pleasure being back with you here at the Netball Centre. We are back on the home floor on the 1st of April against Cardiff. We'd love to see you down here if you can make it. 1 o'clock tip off. If you can make it as well, head on over to East London next Sunday for their game as well. For Loughborough Lightning's next game as they look to make it another undefeated season. To start it off brilliantly, we'll need your support throughout. From us all, thank you very much. Good night.
joined by Loughborough's head coach after that victory. George, congratulations. What were your thoughts at the end of that one?
For me, I think we played well in spells and then not so good in other spells. So definitely for me, can tell it's the first game of the season. Glad to get it out of the way. Look, we ended up with a win by 30 odd points, so you're going to be happy with that, but there's elements there that we can definitely improve on.
Yeah, there seems to be a big improvement, particularly in that third period there, where you'd gone from a 10-point gap and in the end you've got the 30 odd. What did you say at half time? Was it more a case of fatigue perhaps from the opponent, or was it something from your players that changed things?
Well, I can claim that it was me, right, as the coach. I think our fitness that's been our strong point. It was a strong point last year, it's our strong point this year, so it's always going to have an impact. But we were rushing things, we were getting flustered, we weren't doing the stuff that we know and we normally do. So it was just a case of reminding the girls to slow it down. And said, if anything, we can be really quick between the 3-point lines, but then when we get set up, slow it down, move the ball, and we did that a lot better and smarter in the second half.
And in a game like this, do you learn more about your players than you get over the course of the weeks of pre-season? Today you've probably learned things that you'd not thought of maybe previously.
Yeah, you can see people in training, you can have really good training players, and then when you come into a game you can have them not perform so well. We've not got that, but I think for me, when you play a competitive game, you're always going to learn new things. Big crowd in, playing against people that you're not comfortable with because you never played against them before, or you don't play against them as often as in training. So yeah, definitely learned a few things, and looking forward to watching the video back and working on stuff this week.
And a big game coming up next as well. Just a quick one on that. Judging by today's results, it looks like it's going to be quite a contest.
Yeah, they obviously had a good result this afternoon before our game. It's going to be a great game, so I'm really looking forward to it. We'll be back to a full squad next week, so looking forward to having those players back. If anyone's down in that area and wants to watch it, it should be a really, really good game. And yeah, obviously we're gonna go there and hope to try and get a victory, but it's going to take a lot of hard work this week and working on the things we need to work on.
Yeah, surely a great game to look forward to on the live stream. George, thank you for your time this afternoon, and congratulations on the victory. That rounds us up for today's action then at the BWB Women's Premier League. Loughborough Lightning, the victors over Worcester Wolves, and we'll be back with every single match over the course of the campaign. Make sure you join us next time. But for now, it's a goodbye from us.